Welcome to the Gay Buddhist Forum, where teachers from all schools of Buddhism offer their perspectives on the Dharma and its application in modern times, especially for LGBTQI audiences. These talks are offered freely to the world and made possible by appreciative listeners. If you would like to support our efforts to share the Dharma with underserved audiences, please visit gaybuddhist.org. There you can donate, find a list of upcoming speakers, or enjoy many hundreds of these recorded talks dating back to 1996.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to 2018 and the Gay Buddhist Fellowship. I'm so happy that many of you were able to make it for our inaugural chanting session to kick off the new year. So that will repeat each first of the month, each first Sunday of the month, as sort of an organic process to see how that develops. I hope it's fruitful. So to kick off the new year, we are thrilled and excited to finally have Amanda Ream with us, who I will introduce after we do our introductions ourselves. My name is Tom.
I'm Brad.
I'm Greg.
My name is Gary.
David.
Jim.
Baruch.
My name is Cass.
I'm Clint.
My name is Jerry.
My name is Mark.
My name is Matthew.
I'm Hal.
I'm Andreas.
Jesper.
I'm Tony.
I'm Jack.
Kevin.
Dennis.
Peter.
Larry.
Tim.
Risha.
Stefan.
I'm Richard.
Ken. Hi.
Great. Now, is anybody here for the first time or after a long absence? Great, right?
Ken.
Ken. Okay. Well, we'll try and do a better job of remembering. So today, to kick off the new year, we have Amanda Ream. Amanda facilitates the QSangha for the queer community at San Francisco Against the Stream. Is that right? Is it called San Francisco or just SF Against the Stream? You do that here in the city?
Yeah, we have an Against the Stream in San Francisco.
Great. And also Oakland Dharma Punx and the Social Justice Sangha at the East Bay Meditation Center in Oakland. She also practices with Generative Somatics and is a union organizer with domestic workers. She lives in Oakland. Amanda, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here this morning. Feels like a very sacred morning to me, the way the mist was coming down. I don't know if anyone came in from Oakland or got to move towards the mission from other places. It also feels like a significant morning to me because it's the new year. It's our first time together in 2018. And I know that this group has been practicing together for a long time. Are there original members of this community here today? Yeah?
Yeah.
Give me a date, 1992.
I'm not good with dates.
No problem.
I think 26, 27 years ago. I started when I was 5.
I love it. So, have passed this building so many times over the years and always ducked in, wanting to know more about it. So it feels like a very special invitation to me to get to be here with you this morning to start the new year. How's the volume? Can you hear me okay back there? I'm going to try to project louder. It's one of those Buddhist occupational hazards that the more you're feeling your Dharma, the quieter you get. So please feel free to remind me if I start to be inaudible.
But then the better your hearing gets, the deeper you get into it.
You have incredible equanimity with old age, sickness, and death. I can't wait to get some of that from you.
At all.
The arising and passing of the ability to hear. So, so aware of this, of the possibility It's an exciting thing to me to have said goodbye to 2017, kick 2017 out the door. Also aware that probably for everyone in the room, many beautiful things happened during 2017 as well. I know looking around the room, there's a lot of people in this room who've seen a lot, right? And I think just specifically to talk about the political climate of this past year, right? To our community, this is not something new. And the shock and surprise around the country at what has emerged. We hope that will open eyes, that will open hearts, that will allow us to come together in new ways. I say that as somebody coming to you from having moved to New York, having moved to San Francisco in 1993, mostly lived in New York City after that. But so much of who I am as a person was shaped by getting to flee Orange County, California. And yeah, you with me on that? Okay, you did it too. Santa Ana, how about you?
Well, it was more like down in the Balboa Island and Newport Beach and Costa Mesa.
There were some gay people there.
Where did you find them?
Yeah, I never saw any either, but thus I have heard. So, yes. So, for me, it feels very important, and this morning, we're going to talk about intentions in the new year, but it feels really important for me in coming here this morning to name what a refuge San Francisco was for me, and what a refuge I think it is in the cultural imagination at large, and for our community. And so I had an incredible amount of gratitude in coming here this morning and knowing that this place has been here all along, and that many of you and you all have been practicing here together through imaginable ups and downs, changes. The San Francisco that we live in today is both completely unrecognizable and has that beautiful quality that remains. You feel it in the buildings, you feel it in every year when they paint that pink triangle on the hill. Maybe this is part of aging, but feeling incredibly grateful, incredibly rooted here, and wanting to be one of the people who doesn't go down with the ship, who goes down with the ship, right? Who fights for that, queer spirit, that hopefulness, that integrity that I found as a young person in coming here. I'm part of something that I think our country absolutely needs right now, and I think that we're the lineage holders of that. I think we're the lineage holders. Some of us in the room probably were there, and for me and for some of us who weren't there, we're the lineage holders of truth-telling. We're the lineage holders of being integrity, when I think of the 70s and 80s, building a beloved community that could care for ourselves in unimaginable conditions. Also being despised people who came together to love ourselves and love one another and change the world forever when we talk about the AIDS epidemic. So I think part of why I'm also feeling that a lot today as we start this new year is I've been part of a Buddhist chaplaincy program, serving in some hospitals. And I don't know if folks in the room have interacted much with this, but the amount of hospice care, the Buddhist community, just the beautiful intentions towards what end of life can be is incredible to come in contact with around the city. I was at Laguna Honda yesterday. Have folks ever been to Laguna Honda? I really recommend it because I recommend it for so many reasons related to this practice of intention and living the spiritual life. But I also recommend it for getting in touch with that essence of San Francisco. There are really incredible people living there. That's a long-term care facility, right? So many of them are going to be there until it's time for them to go. And boy, oh boy, are they San Franciscans. And what I mean by that is, do they represent for me the best of what this place has always been? There is every kind of iconoclastic, brilliant, imaginative person there, diverse, and to get to spend a little bit of time with them and to hear how they're approaching the end of their lives, not in so many words, but the intentions to live are strong. It's made a big impact on me to hear from some of them the story of their lives, but also what has mattered most in approaching at the end of their lives. So I think that's an important part of, intention setting. And I'll give you a brief overview of what we're going to do this morning. The significance of a new year and a new day. There are many new years in many cultures, but the new year for us here this morning. I'm going to talk a little bit about intention and how intention is held in some of the early Buddhist teachings. And then we'll have a period of a discussion and practice together around intention setting for the new year for ourselves and for our community. And then I thought we'd take the time to share some of those intentions with each other, to bring them into the room, allow them to be witnessed and held in community. And then, as is traditionally done, the Refuges and Precepts. In the earliest Buddhist tradition, in the Theravadan tradition, we often chant the Refuges and the Precepts in Pali, which is the oral tradition language that many of these teachings come from or were passed down in. So I thought we'd do that in a bit of traditional ceremony as we're moving towards the end of our hour together. How's that sound? Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for your permission. Roll on into your... No. Thanks for the permission to roll on into your community with a big plan for the morning.
Yeah, that's great.
All right. So, wise intention. And I really want to talk about intention in terms of how I'm practicing it in my life. I want to talk about intention as a practice. And I hope today we'll get some time to set some commitments into motion around how we want to practice it with the new year. So wise intention is the second step on the Eightfold Path, which are the wisdom teachings of how we're going to live, how we're going to live towards wholeness and well-being, how we're going to get there. It's the path. And it's the Buddha's first teaching. So wise intention, I think how I've heard it, how the Buddha got to wise intention is he was doing his thing. They were doing their thing. Our teacher Larry Yang has been encouraging us to talk about the Buddha with a general neutral pronoun. create more room for the Buddha to be all that the Buddha is in this present moment. Another great contribution of our community to the Dharma, creating some openness around that. So the teaching is that the Buddha was noticing their thoughts and noticing that as they were meditating, as they were practicing under that Bodhi tree, noticing their thoughts and noticing that their thoughts were often moving in two directions. Moving towards what was wholesome, moving towards what was skillful, and moving towards what was unwholesome or unskillful. And he noticed that they noticed that the wholesome thoughts most often were thoughts of renunciation, thoughts of goodwill, or thoughts of non-harming. And the thoughts of renunciation and goodwill and non-harming were directly able to root out the thoughts of greed, of aversion, and of delusion. And so I think they set up many of the practices, or many of the qualities that we're cultivating. When we talk about cultivating loving kindness or cultivating equanimity, many of the ways that we hold our thoughts to help us move towards a more connected, more beautiful, more open way of living. So renunciation is an interesting one. For me, I think renunciation has a quality of forgiveness to it. We'll be practicing some today with what are we letting go of and what are we cultivating in our lives. For me, there's a lot to let go of. I carry around a lot of fear and a lot of worry and a lot of stress that for the most part isn't mine to carry around. But how I like to think of it these days is a lot of it's produced in the conditioning I have as a queer person, as a gender non-binary person in this culture. So, rather than walking around reacting to the world from a place of reacting to oppression, you may have seen around the mission those stencils, "Queers hate techies." Has anyone seen this? Then someone re-stenciled over it, "Queers love techies." And I was like, there's the struggle in our community right there. There's a great example.
And some techies are queer. Right,
yeah, exactly. Right, just the whole thing. So wanting to meet my experience in the world from a place of forgiveness, from a place of letting go of having to be the person who has it all figured out, who has the solution. I think letting go of a worldview that was produced by some of those conditions I was talking about earlier in my talk, that was produced by the idea that there are heroes and there are villains. Something that we're living inside of a lot right now. So one of my teachers in a similar intention setting ceremony to this morning had said, what would it be like to forgive everybody everything? To take that as an intention into the new year. Forgive everyone everything. And when you hear those words, is your first reaction, fuck no? Or is your first reaction, hell yes? Your shawl is very, very cute. I didn't see it before. Pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. So who got a fuck yes? Forgive everyone everything. Sorry, who got a, what is that? Who got a fuck no? Hell no. Right. And so there's tremendous wisdom in knowing that there are people that it is not yet time to forgive, right? But cultivating a practice of letting go of what is the energy, what is the impact, what am I holding in my life of carrying around the continued karma or the continued experience of that harm that I'm not yet willing to forgive. So to allow myself the unburdening, the letting go of continuing to carry around the harm, even if I'm not yet ready to forgive. So there's a tremendous amount of compassion that we can bring to, hell no, forgive everyone everything. It's an opportunity to really be with those beautiful qualities of survival and of safety that have allowed us to get here. All right, and who was like, hell yes, forgive everyone everything? Yes, okay, a couple people. Forgive everyone everything. How did you get there in your life? Do you mind me asking you? That's an intention that speaks to you.
Because I feel like my belief is that if I had lived their life, I would do what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it.
So some developed loving kindness, some developed understanding of what's behind the suffering. Anyone else have a forgiveness practice that they want to highlight? Yeah, please.
Well, for me, forgiveness doesn't imply condoning behavior. And understand that I'm the one that's suffering from the lack of forgiveness.
That's right. I heard a really good one. It was part of the flurry of intention setting for the new year that inevitably happens on Facebook, most of which is best ignored. And part of my use of the phone in a spiritual space, but I decided to let the trees live this year. I'm not taking anything with me into 2018! Exclamation point. This is just a regular person out there on the internet. If you owe me, don't worry about it! Exclamation point. If you wronged me, it's all good! Exclamation point. If you're beefing with me, you won. Like that. If we aren't speaking, it's cool. Be safe, and I wish you well. If you're talking about me, all caps, thanks for the advertisement. That one's hard for me. If you don't deal with me, continue not to do so. If you don't like me, I'm praying for you. If you left me hanging, don't pick me up. If you feel I wronged you, I apologize! Exclamation point. In all things, please forgive me. I forgive you. Life is too short for any unnecessary drama. No one is promised tomorrow, and I'm focused on my now and the future. Be blessed, but be a blessing. Repost if you feel the same. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Did anybody else see that one? I honestly think it was just, one of those brilliant... The only reason why any of us stays looking at the internet are for those moments. So to me, that is that's the practice of forgive everyone everything, of letting go of what we hold on to that we don't need to hold on to. So that's renunciation. So much to be said about that. Goodwill. Goodwill, we often, goodwill is cultivated. We cultivate goodwill with the loving kindness practice. Has anyone spent a period of time practicing with sending goodwill to people on the streets of San Francisco, people on Muni, the people we encounter? Yeah, it can be a very transformative practice. I remember sending thoughts of goodwill. Well, I did an intentional practice when I lived in New York City, where I decided to smile and say hi. Actually, for you all, this might be normal. This is in one way that Californians and I think gay men in California are different than dykes in Oakland. So y'all might have this one down, but I decided that I would say hello to every queer person, every visible to me queer person that I saw on the street. As an act of visibility, as an act of friendliness, as an act of kindness, as an act of solidarity. And there is no saying hello, right? You can, at least in parts of my community, like, you can run into somebody you've had sex with at the Whole Foods, and you might get that, right? Like, I walk into a party sometimes, and it'll always be, the queer men will be like, "Hi, I'm Joe. What's your name?" And I'll be like, "I'm Amanda." And then there'll be like a room full of lesbians I've known for 20 years, and they'll be like, not saying hi. So this may be a cultural difference in our community, because I feel like you guys are good at being friendly and saying hello to people, and it is amazing to me that any of us ever get dates with our inability to say hello to each other. But another thing that might come just from reaction to oppression. But that aside, actually, I'm going to tell what might be a totally inappropriate joke for a Dharma talk, particularly I'm realizing it's recorded, but it's helpful for me. Okay, so what did the gay horse say? You know this one. What does the gay horse eat? Hey. Wait. What is the dyke horse? Hey. Hey. Okay. You never heard that here. All right. So that was like a big aside, but I want to say, so I did this practice, sending loving kindness. I just wanted to ground it in why this was a practice of saying hello to every queer person that I saw on the street. And guess what happened? You all know. They said hi back. They smiled. My entire world became this transformed metafield of, not all of them, but I really felt myself connected to my own dignity and my own well-being and my relationship to community in a new way, which can, as I was just saying, as you all humored me, can be really hard sometimes, can be really intense. So try it out. What do you think would happen? And this wasn't, wasn't doing like a deep eye gaze of spiritual Buddhism. It was just like, "Hi, how are you doing?" And I think I picked this up because there's a few people in my walk to work every day who always say good morning to me, even though I don't know them. I wasn't raised saying good morning every morning, and I feel incredibly grateful that these people were, or that these people have taken it on as a practice. So that was my goodwill practice for quite some time, and it benefited me tremendously. And then we also have non-harming, and non-harming is where we get into the teachings around the precepts. Non-harming as an intention, as a place to set and create intention. Non-harming, it's a really good one because, for example, when we look at the precepts, and we'll be taking them later, the precept of refraining from harsh, useless, or divisive speech. The precept of training towards truthful speech that's timely and allows for more connection, more kindness. This one, I've definitely had the opportunity to watch the energy around the ways that I've been slightly untruthful. And I tend to be somebody who wants people to feel good around me. And so a lot of my untruthful speech has been around what I don't say. And watching the energy of the impact that it has in my life to carry forth a half-truth, whether it's where I'm going to be tomorrow or where I was yesterday. The practice of being very impeccable in word and in speech is one that has given me a lot of confidence in this practice. It's given me a lot of confidence in the world. It's given me a lot of orientation towards how I want to live, because I've been able to let go of all that extra energy that you carry around speech, particularly the kind of speech. We can look at our intention in our speech that might be towards wanting to produce a reaction in other people. I mean, totally normal, right? To want other people, to want to be connected, to want other people to like us. A practice that's worked well for me is the wait practice. Why am I talking? As an investigation of the intention behind my speech. Plus, when you wait for a minute, there's a deeper listening, there's a deeper seeing what can emerge. So those are the three aspects of wise intention: renunciation, goodwill, and non-harming. And each of them is an antidote, as I said, to renunciation is the antidote to greed. Goodwill is the antidote to aversion. And non-harming is the antidote to delusion. So we're going to do some intention setting now. Chance to chart your own practice of intention for the new year. Each of these questions that I'm going to ask are in one of the key domains of mindfulness. And they're questions that will go, I think, pretty quickly. So the invitation is to really let yourself hear the question and to let your response come from your body. I think in this practice we're doing as much as we can to stay connected to our embodied experience, to stay connected to way that thoughts, feelings, and emotions are showing up in this physical realm. All of enlightenment being possible here in this fathom-long body. I think because this is a fun community, it might be nice if we turned to another person when we did this together. Would you all turn to someone next to you and get comfortable? Face the person. Thank you. And maybe sit in a way where you can allow there to be some openness in your body. Since these prompts are good for feeling what's there. You guys are amazing. Usually there's a collective groan whenever there's a practice of connection in other Buddhist groups I'm part of. So
There were some.
I didn't hear any groaning. All right.
We're process students.
So the first person who speaks will be the person closest to the door. Maybe put your hand up if you're going to be the first person to speak, person closest to the door, just so we know who that is. Okay, thank you. All right. So for the person who's speaking, as I said, you're going to hear the question and really take a minute to allow the question to emerge, the answer from your body. It's really like first thought, best thought. I know with intention setting there can be a lot of pressure to get something that you really want to commit to, that's meaningful for you. And that's not what we're looking for here. We're looking for the surprises, right? What comes and what could be witnessed by another person. And if you're the person listening, really bringing your attention, allowing your attention to stay in your body and what matters to you. And it's a practice of being available for your experience while being available to another person's experience, which we don't get a lot of opportunities in life to practice that like we do here in our meditation community. of being able to feel what matters to me and feel what matters to this other person at the same time, without having to speak, without having to engage, question, think, give advice, fix. So it's an opportunity to notice what feelings, what sensations, what emotions arise in you, and hold space for another person. So when I first ring the bell, we're going to go through 4 questions for the person who was closest to the door, the person who's speaking first. So this is going to go quickly, and I will ring the bell 4 times. So it's to speak the first few words that emerge, allow those to settle. You'll hear the bell again in the next question. Speak the first few words, allow that to settle, and we'll do it 4 times. Then we'll sit together for a moment, and then we'll move to the other side.
So both people will answer the question, like the person to the door first and then the other person, and then you ring the bell?
That's what I was trying to clarify. Thank you for clarifying with me. The person closest to the door is going to answer all 4 of the questions, right? Then we'll switch to the person on the other side who will answer all 4 of the questions. All right. What are you longing for? Letting that fall away. How will you know when you get there? What are you letting go of? And what are you cultivating?
Good thoughts. And dropping down into our experience. The next person, what are you longing for? How will you know when you get there?
What are you letting go of? What are you cultivating? Letting those words fall away. Allowing yourself to make contact with your breath and with the body. This practice is a practice of intention and of attention. Bringing attention to the body, to your heart. What intention emerges? It's that word or two that emerges as a marker for you in the times ahead. A North Star. A guide in your life as a spiritual being having a human experience. And can you allow that intention to fill up your body, to be a three-dimensional person, to have length and dignity, to have width, unfurling from the shoulders down through the arms, the width of belonging in a community of people who are on a path, the path of intention. Of depth, who's at your back supporting that intention, ancestors, the people who came before you, the front body, how you're meeting the world with this intention. Centering on this intention, allowing the breath, allowing the body to be with our greatest commitments for this life. This beautiful intention for the new year. When we hear the bell, opening the eyes, returning to the room, creating a field of goodness, of beautiful qualities for our community. I'm going to ask each person to go around and speak to the room a beautiful quality that you're intending to bring to your life and to this world in 2018. And you can always pass. Thank you all. All right, so as is traditionally done, we're going to chant the Refuges and the Precepts, and then each speak those beautiful qualities into the room. Is there anyone here who's chanted these before? Yeah, okay, so if I can get some help, I appreciate it. I'll do a call and response, but feel free to join in from the beginning. So we're going to do call and response. The Refuges are the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. And then we'll chant the Precepts. I'll chant it in Pali. And we won't chant that one back because it's kind of long. We'll repeat it in English. So first we start with really the big welcome to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. 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 And now the Refuges. Buddham saranam gacchami. Buddham saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Dhammam saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Sangham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi Buddham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchami. Tatyampi buddham saranam gacchami. Tatyampi buddham saranam gacchami. Tatyampi dhammam saranam gacchami. Tatyampi dhammam saranam gacchami. Tatyampi sangham saranam gacchami. Tatyampi sangham saranam gacchami. Now the precepts. This one. Panatipata veramani sika padam samadhiyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from destroying living creatures. I undertake the precept to refrain from destroying living creatures. Adinadana veramani sika padam samadhiyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from taking that which is not given. I undertake the precept to refrain from taking that which is not given. Kamaisu mi chachara veramani sika padam samadhiyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from harming my sexuality. I undertake the precept to refrain from harming my sexuality. Musavara veramani sika padam samadhiyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from harsh, divisive, or incorrect speech. I undertake the precept to refrain from harsh, divisive, or incorrect speech. Suramerya maja pamadadena veramani sika param samadhiyami. I undertake the precept to refrain from intoxicating drinks and drugs that lead to heedlessness. I undertake the precept to refrain from intoxicating drinks and drugs that lead to carelessness. Now our beautiful intentions for the year. Shall we start over here with our host?
Surrender. Understanding. Equanimity.
Listening.
Equanimity.
Ease. Patience. Being less judgmental.
Forgiveness.
Compassion. Acceptance. Keep trying. Trust.
Humor.
Openness.
Transparency.
Unmasking.
Openness.
Hope. Loving kindness.
Loving tenacity.
Inner peace. Being brave.
Equanimity.
Equanimity. Kindness.
Awakening.
Beautiful. The invitation is to feel yourself part of this community, part of all those beautiful qualities spoken to this morning, as we dedicate the merit of our practice. Oh, at the very end. Okay, well then over. May we always be connected to the goodness that we've created here today. May we never be separated from these intentions. Please continue.
so beautiful. What a great start to the new year.
Thank you.
We are truly blessed.
Unless you like your scarf. What's that? Unless you like your scarf.
Well, yeah,
Good fashion in Buddhism never goes unrecognized.
Next week, Prasadachita will be back with us again. He's familiar to all of you. He's done a number of 4-week series, which was great. He's an ordained member of the Triratna Buddhist community that houses us here. He teaches meditation, yoga, and Buddhism here at the San Francisco Buddhist Center. His practice and teaching grows out of the valuing of friendship and community. He's interested in the Buddhist theories and poetic expressions that communicate links between lofty ideals and our ordinary life. Some of you may know he gets into some deep teaching that makes it very understandable, so we love him for that. Let's see, do we have a host?
Well, I'm actually the understudy host today, Eve Harrington. Jim Stewart is the host today, and he's left treats for us. So please avail yourself of the wonderful treats that he's provided. I'll be coming around to Donegal, so please feel free to not inhibit your generosity. There's hot water for tea. If you'd like some tea, please leave your cup in the sink, and I'll take care of it afterwards. And at 12:30, some people gather at the front door to go out for lunch, and everybody's welcome to join in that group. So, and there's a sign-up sheet on the credenza if you'd like to be added to our mail.
Other announcements? Nothing else? All right, let's gather in a circle. Oh, wait.
I saw one.
Question. I love the chanting meeting. What time should we be here for that?
That'll start at 10 each, the first Sunday of each month.
10.
So, and I may not always be, it's not my intention that this be my thing. It's but I'll pick it off and leave it. So, thank you. By the power and truth of this practice, may all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all be free from sorrow and the causes of sorrow. May all never be separated from the sacred happiness which is without sorrow. And may all live in equanimity, without too much attachment or too much aversion, believing in the equality of all that lives.
Thank you for listening to the Gay Buddhist Forum. If you would like to hear several new talks per month and be notified of upcoming speakers so you can participate live, please subscribe to this podcast, like us on Facebook, and join our mailing list by visiting gaybuddhist.org.